lost a job that it was a good job at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station working for Johnson Controls. I worked there for 10 years and I got fired. I was in the union, I was in the Teamsters union. It was a very secure, steady, good job. And getting fired from that job devastated me. I had to go back and live on Mom's couch for a little while. Times were rough. And I also had a drug abuse problem. So I was one of those guys that had all those problems. So what made me want to come to Tampa Bay CDC was the fact that I had found out that I needed some help getting my credit back together. I think I had 14 pages of bad credit and no good credit. So I knew I needed some help, and I had heard that they were the experts on helping me to do that. They sat down with me, we went through all of the stuff that I had owed to everybody, and they said, John, this is the first one you want to pay off this one first. My truck had been repossessed. I had a Zuzu pickup truck that was brand new. I bought it, I never should have bought it, but anyway, I bought it, and it had been repoed recently. So they had a judgment against me. And with a judgment, that's, I guess, is probably your worst thing to have on your credit report. So Tampa Bay CDC said, John, negotiate with them, which I did. I think they wanted like $6,800 back payment, and I ended up paying them around $4,500. So they gave me the tools and the ways and means to get it paid off and negotiate. And then what they did is they had me go down the list of what the next most important one was to knock out first. And a lot of the stuff were small ones. So they said, if you got the money, take care of the small ones first to get them off. So they went through, and there were some bills from my ex-wife that I never even knew were there, and I didn't want to pay them, but it was going against my credit report. It really wasn't a bad experience at all. It made me feel good. I was grateful to get them paid off. I had just recently got my real estate license. I got my license in 1997, and so in the early 2000s I could see the value of real estate going up and up, and I wanted to get my house as soon as I could. A gentleman down the street, he was actually a pastor, wanted to list his house with me and my company. So I took the listing, and I'm doing an open house. I have my first open house. At the open house, we had 3 offers at the open house. What happened is a buyer from my church had an offer that got accepted. She decided to withdraw and not buy the house. And my mortgage broker, Marjorie Burdine, who's now retired, worked with Tampa Bay CDC and the Home Buyer Club and all of that. And basically she said, John, why don't you buy the house? So I thought about it. That's a great idea. It's right down the street. I need to buy a house anyway. I mean, I used the Sold on Largo program, and they gave me $10,000 towards the purchase of my new home at 0 interest. So literally, I was able to close. I had to put $1,000 down in escrow, and $1,800 is all I needed to come out of pocket to close. When I got that approval, that was like my favorite day of all time. I'll never forget when they called me up from SunTrust Bank and said, John, you're approved for a $80,000 loan. I was like, I couldn't believe somebody's going to actually loan me $80,000. Tampa Bay CDC helped me with all of the closing costs and everything with the loan from the city of Largo. Now I still owe them the $10,000, but today my house is totally paid off, except for that $10,000. Because it's a 0 interest, and I'm not going to take money out from another account to pay a 0 interest loan. But the trust factor did come from the fact that I did look good now on paper, because they could see that I had been paying everybody back in a timely manner. The building block of the Tampa Bay CDC of me being able to buy my first house now secured my credit, so now I was able to buy other properties. And instead of buying a big car, as a realtor, I wanted to start investing. Today, I own approximately 17 properties. In a nutshell, basically I'm a very successful realtor, and I'm the broker owner of the company, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. And a lot of it's from learning on how to get my life back together, and I was able to take care of people, money that I owed to other entities, and get all that off my back. So that freed me up to pursue my dreams. So if you have a problem, or you think and you want to buy a house, I highly recommend you go to Tampa Bay CDC and don't be embarrassed about what you got going on, because everybody's got something going on.